Jamaica. Welcome to another program of Centrally Speaking,
the program that opens up the conversation around important matters of economics and finance, matters of national importance that have an impact on your life. I'm Sheena.
And I'm Anna. Glad you could join us again. We want to give a big shout out to KC Old Boy Michael Leslie.
And big up Sarah from Shiloh in St. Elizabeth.
Hey, big up Yvette from Rose Hill in Manchester.
And Myrna from Cross Keys in Manchester.
Cecil, St. Catherine, we see you. Long time view, big up.
And Trudy from Thompson Town, big up.
And welcome aboard to those of you joining for the very first time. Ooh, glad you could make it.
Yeah.
We invite you to stay with us.
So we have a great show lined up for you because in today's program, we'll be speaking with Mr. Eliud Ramocan, Head of Cyber Risk at Bank of Jamaica.
Eliud will be talking about, guess what? Cyber risk and cyber security.
Don't say. But before we hear from Eliud Ramocan, we first want to hear from you. It's time for Street Check.
What is cybersecurity and why should persons be concerned about it?
It's technically security regarding the internet. Then why is it important? It's because people access the internet on their daily lives. Like, actually we live on the internet, but our information and everything about us is also on the internet as well. So it's very good that we understand about cybersecurity, is because when we learn certain principles and aspects of security, then we can implement them in our daily life, which makes our information and data that we have on the internet a bit more secure.
As I understand it, cybersecurity has to do with securing whatever resources, data, or information you have within a digital space. Persons need to be aware and to find it important, because we are increasingly moving away from a physical material world to a more digital space. Most of our information now, most of our money and other things are stored online.
Cybersecurity is protecting yourself from the internet and perpetrators from the internet. Why is it important? Because everybody wants to keep safe. The credit card information must be safe, the banking information must be safe, and all of their other documents, wire transfer and stuff must be safe.
I'm not sure of the exact definition, but based on what I hear, I think cybersecurity is basically protecting your online data. Am I correct? Yeah, so I think persons should take it seriously because, we're in a time where everything is basically going to be advanced, technically advanced. Everything is moving online, banking, shopping, all of that.
Cybersecurity, as far as I know, really looks at how persons protect their online presence. Why it's important? Personally, you want to protect like your banking details, your home address, those type of stuff. Professionally, you want to ensure that persons can't hack your work account and get access to private confidential information. So I think persons should just be aware of that and try their best while on social media, while on internet, just to protect what they have to ensure they're safe.
Our peeps on the streets are always in the know.
Yeah. Now come with us as we attempt to break down complex economic matters in a way that everyone can understand.
Our guest today is Eliud Ramocan, Head of Cyber Risk at Bank of Jamaica. He'll be telling us about cyber risk and security. Eliud,
welcome to Centrally Speaking.
Thank you so much, Anna. Thanks so much,
All right, so first off, cybersecurity and risk, they've become a major buzz talk in boardrooms across the world. Tell us, why is this so?
It's all in the data. Data is now the most important asset any company has. And companies now are looking towards digitization to be able to have a greater presence on the internet and to connect their customers, suppliers, and everything that makes their business work in terms of products and services. Cyber attacks will bring that down in just one moment. And the statistics are out where it takes about 9 months before a business realizes that the hackers are in their system.
Really?
Yes.
9 months.
And by that time, the damage is already done. And the focus of any attacker, hacker, or cyber criminal is to get to that data. As a result, regulations, customers are all asking to ensure that the data is protected and secure.
Thank Thank you.
So for the layman, Eliud, what exactly is cyber risk and how can we protect ourselves from it?
Right. So cyber risk is a threat to the data of an organization or the data that is on your phone, right? Or any other kind of device that you have.
I mean electronic data.
Right, electronic data. So cybersecurity is everyone's business because everyone is connected in some shape or form to the internet. And as a result, we have to ensure that that's secure by putting in some proactive means to make sure that everyone is protected. Yes. Now, cyber risk is essentially looking at the different avenues, the different ways in which an attack can occur. And this can happen to a person on a personal level, to a business, to a financial institution. And as a result, it's important that the industry, whether the financial industry or any kind of industry association, looks to see how they can improve their overall cyber security and cyber resilience.
Okay, so you said we have to look to put in some proactive measures. So does that mean governance and management framework, for example?
Yes, so the Bank of Jamaica, through the Financial System Stability Committee, which really includes the financial regulators in Jamaica, has set out 10 principles in which to guide financial institutions and really firms overall to be able to see how they can better prevent cyber attacks. And even beyond that, how to be resilient through a cyber attack. Because, it's not about if there will be a cyber attack, it's when.
Okay.
And being able to be properly prepared for that, so that in the event that there is a cyber attack, the critical services, the main things that customers are able to be in touch with the business on remains constant during that attack.
Okay.
And then thereafter, for the business to be able to end up stronger, learning more about what occurred, and to be able to prepare for any other possible threats.
Okay.
All right, so you made a critical point. It's not if a business will be attacked, it's when. All right, so from that standpoint, what are some practical ways that companies, they're listening to what are some practical ways that you can offer so they can protect themselves?
Cyber hygiene.
Okay.
Right. There's
cyber soap.
there are actually more mobile phones than there are toothbrushes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. No, let that sink in for a
No,
moment.
that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound right.
So we know that our oral hygiene is very important, right?
Yeah.
We brush every day, twice a day, and we do our hygiene-related things. But to what extent are we doing that for our phones? And for business, to what extent are they doing it for their network systems, right? So it may be funny, but one of the questions that a business can ask, or even a person can ask, is, did you bathe? Now, that may sound very offensive. Don't ask anybody that just like that. But bathe is an acronym. Backup, antivirus, right, along with awareness of the cyber threats, which we'll speak to, two-factor authentication or more, right? Then we look at overall hygiene and network hardening, which is basically making it harder for a threat actor to get into your system. And then E speaks to email security, endpoint security. So if you ask yourself, and if a business, if a board asks themselves, those questions, they're better able to see how prepared they are and how much they are knowledgeable, aware of the possible threats that can impact their business and cause serious downtime, which therefore means financial loss, reputational loss, disruption in their business, which it can be cost in different ways, but there are many other types of costs that go along with a cyber attack that a business and on a personal level you have to be aware of.
Okay.
I'll remember that, to bathe. B-A-T-H-E. We are speaking with Eliud Ramocan, Head of Cyber Risk at Bank of Jamaica. We'll hear more about the dangers of cyber attacks right after these messages.
Welcome back to Centrally Speaking. On today's show, we're being schooled on cyber attacks. Eliud, worldwide, are we seeing more cyber attacks? And if so, how can you quantify the impact of these cyber attacks on countries and also on companies?
We're seeing lots more cyber attacks,
Yes.
quadrupled and even more, particularly since the pandemic.
Okay.
Coming out of that, we have seen significant increases because more and more persons would have relied on online means to be
Yes.
connected, whether it's schools or companies, being able to do business. And as a result, more persons are online and there are more opportunities for cyber criminals to be able to do so. And the cost is horrendous. From a significant report that looks at the cost of a data breach, the cost of an attack in a sense. The average cost, globally speaking, is $4.5 million for just one episode of an attack.
That's US
That's
dollars.
US?
Right? That's US dollars.
Oh my.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is just an average. So this ranges from $2 million to $10 million just when you break it down by sector. Now, I mean, for any organization, that is serious.
Yes.
So the question may be, what should you do? Well, the first thing to understand, appreciate, is that the cost of a cyber attack
Yes.
is far more than the cost of cyber security. Meaning put some things in place to ensure that you can either prevent it, or if something happens, you're able to detect it early enough so that the cost won't be so much. And even if it gets to this point where there is some form of damage or the systems are affected, they're able to recover quickly and safely to be able to restore your normal business operations.
Okay.
All right, so coming off that, the cost you said of securing is much less than being attacked. How does a company know that it's attacked?
It requires putting in some systems. So, for example, first thing is to have a intrusion detection and response system.
Okay.
They come in different forms. Won't get into technical side of things, but just in essence, say monitoring your digital assets. Now, for a lot of companies, they approach cybersecurity or approach IT in a patched way. In other words, they have visibility of maybe their mobile phones using one system, then visibility of their laptops on another system.
Okay.
And so it's kind of fragmented. It's important to have full visibility of your digital assets. That's number one, because if you can't see it, you won't know it.
Okay.
And then from there, to be able to put into place a monitoring system, we call that a SIEM, which is a security incident and event management system.
So it's bathe and seam. All right.
Right, so
Seat
so that you can be able to ingest
Yes.
all the various information, all the various sensors,
Yes.
all the various activities that are going on in your organization. That is critical. So with the visibility, you're now able to be more vigilant
Yeah.
to see what is occurring.
All right. So Eliud, the proliferation of mobile devices have given us all access to the global marketplace, right? Tell us how we can use these devices to protect ourselves against instances of cyber attack.
All right, so most mobile devices that we have are now smartphones,
Yes.
right? So it's called smart for a reason, where it can assist you or it can endanger you depending on who's sending the instructions.
Ah.
Now, we have to be able to take control of our device. We need to take time to know our device, right? So the sites that we go on, the apps that we download, the settings that we allow the app to have, whether they have access to our microphones or access to our pictures, access to our files, to make sure that your privacy is secure. So we have to own that. We own the mobile device and we own how we set up the access to the important things on our phone. Very important is, how does someone get access into your phone? How do you do that?
Yeah.
Is it that it's unlocked, there's nothing there? Or do you have a PIN number?
Yeah.
Do you have a password? Do you use passwordless means to access, meaning your fingerprint, right? Or face scan?
Hold on, how much something you have? You have
Everything.
password,
My beard.
fingerprint.
My beard, I'm seeing.
Right, so the idea of cybersecurity is to make it as difficult
Yes.
as possible for someone to find interest in accessing
Okay.
what you have. And so those actually assist and go a far way for you to be able to protect your mobile device.
Okay.
So I want to follow on a point that you made earlier about the cost. The average cost has
Yes.
been about $4 to $5 million per cyber attack.
Yeah.
So with that kind of information, does cybersecurity have a direct relationship with financial stability?
The statistics show that the financial sector is a prime target for cyber attacks. And therefore, this is a sector-wide
Yep.
concern for the financial sector. And as a result, the Bank of Jamaica, the Financial Services Commission, and the JDIC have put together guidelines that are easy to read, easy to follow,
Okay.
that are principle-based, not too prescriptive, giving the general guidelines as to what a financial institution and also third-party providers to the financial institutions need to consider, need to implement in order to better prepare for a cyber attack and to be resilient. Resilient, again, meaning going beyond just prevention, but being able to work through an event, a cyber event, to maintain the critical services
Okay.
so that there's a full downtime, right? So that the critical services can continue to ensure that there is a maintenance of financial stability in the market.
So we know the cost of investing in cybersecurity technology is very high. Is it absolutely necessary for financial institutions to do this or companies to do this? Isn't it eating out at the bottom line?
Financial institutions are interconnected. I mean,
Yes.
that's how we're able to gain the conveniences of using our ATM card. And at one bank's ATM, that's how we're able to have inter-transactions to make payments between financial institutions. So one financial institution that is affected affects all, right? Directly, indirectly. So as a result, what we have put out is to say that cyber resilience
Yes.
is not an individual firm kind of situation.
Okay.
Cyber resilience is a sector-wide concern where for each person, for each financial institution to be able to put in measures to be able to protect themselves from data theft, from cyber fraud, and their customers,
Yes.
to ensure that it keeps integrity of the financial market intact, and also to ensure that the customer trust in that financial institution is kept in place. Digitization, digital transformation is the way forward for businesses to be able to thrive, to be able to survive. And the more that we're relying on digital means to be able to be productive, that should indicate the level of cybersecurity that needs to be contemplated, invested, and properly tested. Because, for example, I mean, let's just take, say, a backup. So having a backup in place in case of a cyber attack is one of the key things. That's a B in BAVE, right?
Okay.
But the importance of testing the backup is important.
Okay.
Because when it occurs, if and when it occurs, and then now you go running for the backup and you realize that the backup is corrupt, backup only backs up maybe just the emails, but not this set of files and so forth, you won't be able to recover, right? You won't be able to do business,
Okay.
right? And that affects your business and other businesses that depend on your services.
Eliud, let us shift the focus now from businesses and especially the financial sector to individuals who are also vulnerable to cyber attacks, you know, especially the very older persons and at least the very young persons. You know, so some of our viewers have old people, you know, elderly people in the family who use WhatsApp, for example. You know, you get a message, you know, click on this link. You know, I always send Grandpa a song, send click on the link. You know what I mean? Click on the link for do this. So he sees a link and then click. But it is a cyber attack, kind of a threat. Now, what can I tell Grandpa to allow him to differentiate between a good link and a bad link?
The first thing is, if it looks suspicious, right, don't click on it.
Okay.
You're better off calling the person to ask if they sent this.
Right.
Now, there's the other side to it that a friend, right, a family member can send something that is already
Right, compromised.
and you don't know, right? So in such a case, that's why your system, your mobile phone, needs to be up to date with the latest patches, the latest upgrades that the mobile phone will send to you. So whenever you see that notification, oh,
Software upgrade.
software upgrade, this requires a restart, and you say no, right? And you delay it, you delay it, you delay it. You are causing an opening, right, for your system to be affected. So the first thing is to be able to know that that link looks suspicious.
Yeah.
Especially when it's luring you in a way to say, get $1 million free to do this, do that, right? You know that there's something wrong
Right.
there. So once grandpa sees that, he should call and ask someone, does this look right? Is this from Susie? And then to kind of find out. So that is the very first thing. There are different kinds of cyber attacks for mobile phones and also for personal computers and even for the business context, phishing. Now, there are different types of phishing. And when we talk about phishing, we're talking about PH
Yes.
phishing,
Yes.
right?
Right,
Not fishing out in a lake.
Right.
Right, so phishing is essentially where you receive an email, right, which has something that looks very personable and friendly, right? It could even be from your aunt or from your cousin, and you think that it's fine. And the link is there to click, and then it may ask you to type in a password or so on, and then you're able to access that resource, that service. It could be from a bank or that sort of thing. It's important to recognize some key things. So on the computer, now this is not the mobile phone, but on the computer, you're able to at least see what is behind that link,
Right.
to see where's that URL tracking,
Right.
meaning the website address is tracking. And if you notice that that's not going to where the bank
Yeah.
website usually takes me, then I won't click on that, right? So that's a very important way to be able to detect what is happening.
Cyberbullying. It's a major phenomenon now in Jamaica. Tell us firstly, what is cyberbullying and how can we protect or educate people on how to protect themselves and their children from cyberbullying?
Yes, I would say avoid digital drama. Right? When drama is taken online,
Yes.
it can escalate quickly.
Yes.
One reason is because you're not seeing the person face to face,
Right.
and what you may write, the other person reads in their own way, not necessarily how
Okay.
you intended. And
Okay.
things can escalate quite quickly. So cyberbullying is where there is someone, whether someone that you know, someone that you met online, or a stranger seeks to cause some form of personal harm through your social media page
Okay.
or through some other kind of online forum where your reputation and your identity and things that can really tear your name down, right,
Okay.
online takes place. Now, the thing about the internet is that whatever goes on the internet stays on the internet. Even if there's some way to delete or so, there are ways to be able to recover it some way, somehow. That is now a different kind of drama that you really don't want in your life.
So speaking of permanence, in this social media age,
Yes.
where we post everything online,
Yeah.
we're sleeping, we're eating, we're partying, we're doing business, we're visiting, we're at the beach, we're flying.
We get it. We're getting it.
You know what I mean? We post everything. Is this now safer to do so? And if it is not safer, what should we do?
Attackers like to get to know you. And if you
Give them info.
give them everything that they need to know already, then you are that much more exposed, right? So the general guidelines is to delay in how you post, right? So we're not saying don't post, but you can take pictures, you can be able to capture memories and so forth. But instead of sharing it instantly, you have to be aware of what persons know. Persons won't just also know that you like lasagna. They may see that you checked in at a particular restaurant and you're there for a birthday party. They know your birthday now, right?
Yeah.
And they're able to pick up on many other things. And if they access that from your social media page, they also know, who are your close friends. And they see pictures of your friends and yourself. So they know that they can also attack your friends as well,
No.
right? And be able to to stir mischief. So therefore, it is important to not be so hasty in posting.
Yeah.
And if in posting,
That's what I mean.
try to determine your close circle group.
Yes.
You don't have to post to the world, right? So you can post in a forum, in a family group or so, and so that the personal private information, real-time information about yourself isn't out there for everyone to have access to.
We have been speaking with Eliud Ramocan, head of cyber risk at Bank of Jamaica. He gave us insight on how cyber attacks can affect companies. Centrally Speaking, we'll be right back after the break. On today's show, Eliud Ramocan, head of cyber risk at Bank of Jamaica, explained the dangers of cyber attacks and the importance of cybersecurity. Here's a recap of the conversation. In other words, it's time for the fast facts. Number 1. Companies can secure themselves from cyber attacks by conducting cyber hygiene check. Bathe. B. Backup. A. Antivirus and awareness. T. Two-factor authentication. H. Hygiene and hardening. E. Email and endpoint security. Number 2. Since the pandemic, the incidence of cyber attacks have more than tripled. According to IBM's data breach report, the global average cost of a data breach in 2023 was US $4.45 million, a 15% increase over 3 years. Number 3, statistics show that the financial sector is a prime target for cyber attacks due to its significant economic importance and the valuable and sensitive data it holds. Number 4, Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, Financial Services Commission, FSC, and the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation, JDIC, have published guidelines to financial institutions to prevent, protect, and remain resilient against cyber threats. Number 5, cyberbullying is a malicious intent caused by someone who may be known or unknown to create personal harm online to their victims. And because it's the final episode in the season, I'm going to give you a bonus fact. It takes an average of 9 months for a business to detect a breach and another 73 days to respond to the incident. And that has been your Fast Facts. I'm Anna.
So that's our program for this week and for the season.
What?
Yes, for the season.
Jeez, it's done already?
Yes.
Can you imagine? No more Centrally Speaking.
Absolutely.
You're going to miss us on Monday night.
Yeah, I'm going to miss you.
But we soon come back.
We would like to thank all our faithful viewers who join us every show, and I hope to see you again next season.
Right. Follow us on X in the meantime and on Facebook at Central Bank JA and Central Bank Jamaica on Instagram and on BOJ's YouTube channel where you can see the replays of each episode. You can also visit the website boj.org.jm.
We also invite you to send in your questions on X or Facebook.
And of course, What's Centrally Speaking next season, when we will be back with more interesting guests and informative discussions. Thanks for watching.
See you next season.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Sheena.
Thanks for watching.
Centrally Speaking is a production of Bank of Jamaica.